Shanti, Shanti. Oh, may the divine lead us from unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Oh, peace, peace, peace.
A crude offering to Swami Vivekananda. O Son of Ramakrishna, you are the destroyer of division in religion. We salute you a million times. We are free of all worldly ties. You give mantra for salvation. You showed how Shiva resides in all living beings. You showed the true meaning of religion. O Son of Sri Ramakrishna, come into my heart and fill it with divine love. धर्म भेद के भंजन हारे, धर्म भेद के भंजन हारे, करता तुमको जगत प्रणाम। राम कृष्ण के वीर दूत को करते हम सब कोटि प्रणाम। भेद के भंजन हारे, भेद के भंजन हारे, भवबंधन से सदा मुक्त हो, आए जग कल्याण करत हो। भवबंधन से सदा मुक्त हो, आए जग कल्याण करत हो। मोक्ष मंत्र के देवन हारे, मोक्ष मंत्र के देवन हारे, करता तुमको जगत प्रणाम। राम कृष्ण के वीर दूत को करते हम सब कोटि प्रणाम। धर्म भेद के भंजन हारे, धर्म भेद के भंजन हारे, धर्म स्थापन करने आए, जीवन शिव के दर्श कराए। धर्म स्थापन करने आए, जीवन शिव के दर्श कराए। युग धर्म प्रवर्तन हारे, युग धर्म प्रवर्तन हारे, करता तुमको जगत प्रणाम। राम कृष्ण के वीर दूत को करते हम सब कोटि प्रणाम। हृदय बसो राम कृष्ण नंदन,
I'm reading from the book Swami Vireshwarananda, A Divine Life. This piece of reminiscence is from Swami Swatantrananda, and this incident is recorded in somewhere around November, December 1972. So, he is writing, Prabhu Maharaj, that is Swami Vireshwarananda, we would get Maharaj, that is Swami Vireshwarananda, in a most informal mood at Kishanpur. We were charmed by his endless stories. Once, quite often, it used to continue late into night in spite of repeated reminders from Harolal Maharaj to retire. Swami Vireshwarananda gave scant attention to his entreaties to go to bed. His tales of yesteryears went on and on. Once he told us an amusing incident involving Swamis Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Akhandananda and Vivekananda. A young boy from a devotee's family had just joined Vilurvat as a novice. Raja Maharaj, that is Swami Brahmananda, did not like him and openly declared that he would not be able to continue as a monastic for long. Swami Vivekananda was pleading with Swami Brahmananda in favor of the boy, when the latter opined, this boy does not have the requisite tendencies conducive to a monastic life. Swamiji insisted, you are capable of changing the tendencies of an aspirant for the better. Swamiji was trying his level best so that Maharaj, that is Swami Brahmananda, gave the boy a chance to remain in the Wat and become a monk. They were discussing this issue in the western room on the first floor after the evening arati. At that time, Swami Akhandananda and Swami Vivekananda were engaged in an animated discussion in the room next to Swamiji's, which was earlier used by the President Maharaj of the order. They were having fun and laughing noisily within the hearing and sight of Swamiji and Raja Maharaj, that is Swami Brahmananda. Suddenly, in a mock show of anger, Swamiji shouted, the new ones must come. You and you alone have got to change their tendencies. Nothing is impossible by the grace of the great souls. We have learned from and received the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, and the new ones will learn from us. Look at the two great souls yonder. He is referring to Swami Akhandananda and Swami Vivekananda. They are the disciples of another great soul, that is Sri Ramakrishna. How exemplary are their ways? How meaningfully are they passing time after the evening arati? The new ones joining the Velurvat will surely learn from them. On hearing Swamiji's voice and his dig at them, Vigyan Maharaj, grave by nature, fell quiet in a trice. Gangadhar Maharaj, Swami Akhandananda, closed his eyes and fell into a mock meditation with both his hands placed on his lap. Swamiji continued his dialogue with Raja Maharaj in a softer way. Look Raja, you are all realized souls. If you wish, you can change the tendencies in others for the better. This boy belongs to a devotee's family. The sannyasis were invited the other day to their house, and he did much to serve them, didn't he? He brought big fishes. Do you know how big those fishes were? Oh Ganga, he is referring to Swami Akhandananda. Tell Raja how big the fishes were. Now Gangadhar Maharaj, who was in the next room, feigning meditation, spread his arms sideways, saying with his eyes closed to show the actual size of the fish, and then relapsed into a meditative posture. Swamiji and Raja Maharaj couldn't stop their laughter. The charm and style of Prabhu Maharaj, that is Swami Vireshwarananda's storytelling, made us burst into peals of laughter. Harolal Maharaj drew the curtain for the night, saying, it is quite late. Eye drops have to be given. The mart of joy broke. Yes.
Now a short period of meditation. Good morning, friends, and welcome you all today to today's special Sunday service and the first after our summer recess. And this is very special because in India they are celebrating Swami Vivekananda's famous Chicago address of 1893, its 125th anniversary. It started last year and it's the concluding session this year, one year long program from 11th September to 27th September in many centers in India. Many lectures, seminars and talks are being done. So to do it in a very smaller way, we are doing here with, we couldn't go to Chicago and Swami Vivekananda cannot speak here. But we have brought close to that, we have brought Swamiji from Chicago, who is a wonderful speaker. We sometimes call him Little Vivekananda. He is very spirited, he is a wonderful speaker. And we are so fortunate in his very, very busy schedule. He agreed to come to us and participate in the seminar as a panelist yesterday and today. He is going to speak on a very important topic. Effect of Swami Vivekananda in our society, in the world. And the topic given is the Vivekananda effect. Swami Ishatmananda is a monk of the Ramakrishna mission, and he got associated with the Holy Order of the Ramakrishna mission in Tirupati, India. He became a monk in 1986. The Swami worked in Advaita Ashrama for 12 long years, and then worked at the centers of the order in Purulia and later became head of the centers in Andaman and in Naruttanagar. He came to Chicago in 2013 and is the head of the Vivekananda Vedanta Society of Chicago since March of that year. Swami Ishatmananda is a popular speaker and a wonderful organizer. In November 2013, only a few months after his arrival to America, he organized Chicago Calling, a historic 5-day-long program. The main event was held at the Hilton Hotel in Chicago, the spot where Swami Vivekananda had stayed for 2 weeks during the 1893 Parliament of World's Religions. Nearly 50 monastics and over 700 devotees from across the world attended that Chicago Calling event. Currently, Swami Ishatmananda gives weekly lectures on Panchama Veda, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, on Tuesdays, and Saga of the Soul on Sundays. He also gives classes on India Eternal at the Hindu Temple of Greater Chicago, Lemon, on the first Saturday of each month, and every month at Bongo Bhavan, Glendale Heights. In addition, he holds monthly classes on the Bhagavad Gita at the Naperville Public Library and at the Hindu Temple of Lake County in Grace Lake. Swami Ishatmananda travels a lot in North America, Puerto Rico, and Trinidad and Tobago. He has to go to many places, and also we're very fortunate to have him in Canada, and this time he is with us, going to speak on this September on Swami Vivekananda, Swami Ishatmananda Ji Maharaj.
Now my condition is like Sachin Tendulkar. And he introduced me such a way that Sachin, before going for batting, when the people asked, "Oh, we want to see that you are making a century this time," he said, "Hey, let me go and play." So I should have said, no, not like that. He loves me so much, so he was telling, I'm a very ordinary person, very humble person, and I'm really, really grateful to Swamiji that he included me in this great monastic order. When that gentleman was reading from here, the Bireshwaranandaji's that incident, when Swami Vivekananda was pleading to Raja Maharaj that you should take this young man, though maybe you are feeling right this moment, he's not having the capacity to become a monk, but you have to change his attitude and accept him as a monk. I think I was that person. So that way I'm so grateful. Friends, the Vivekananda effect. So 125 years have passed, and he gave 11 lectures in that Parliament of Religions, which started from 11th September 1893 to 27th September 1893. All the 17 days, and he gave 11 lectures. And he read one paper that is on Hinduism. But this effect is unique. So sometimes I go to visit that particular place, still they are keeping, many changes have come. It was like an opera house. So nearly 7,000 people used to listen to their talks, and in those days microphones were not there. So they used to come very close to the podium and from the back, from side, everywhere. If you go and if you see the old the paintings, and you can understand, it was just like the opera house, very close, they could listen to the speakers. And now, most of the places they are utilizing for the arts display, but that particular stage where Swamiji and others, they sat and they spoke, that is still there, as it is. And the chairs also just in front of, it is as it is. So when I sometimes go, naturally I go and lie down over there, Shastanga Pranam, and they don't open it because people are not aware of it. They go for other display. Only Indians, they come and say, we like to see that place where Vivekananda spoke. And so that time they will open it and we can enter into that. Government of India, that time, that is the first time the one American museum had a contract with the government of India, a foreign government, to develop this, and particularly keeping some flyers giving all the details of the 11th September, that program, and also they have given a mark, Vivekananda Way, just in front of that Art Institute and the Michigan Road. It's a very famous place. So if you ever go, you can go down and can go and touch that there. And that lady who came and opened, when she saw that I'm rolling over there and praying, then she said, if you don't mind, usually Americans never inquire for whatever you are doing. I am just standing over here. So, but she could not restrain, and she asked me, sir, if you don't mind, why you are doing like that? This is a place where the people, they do the drama and all. Nowadays they are giving that particular place for different programs. Then I told, man, you won't understand. This is a Kurukshetra, holiest of the holy place. Here, a person came, stood over here, and he changed the whole India, which was under the subjugation from 11th century to 19th century, a long, long period of 800 years. So that completely he broke with one speech. Friends, that was on the 4th of July when Swami Vivekananda decided to give up his body, 4th of July 1902. He meditated for 3 hours. That morning, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. that day morning. And then he came down and he was pacing up and down just in front. And you know, most of you, those who have visited Velurmar, we mentioned that as the old temple where Swami Vivekananda kept the relics of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He meditated there. Now after 3 hours meditation, came down and singing in a very low tune, Shama Ma Ki Amar Kalure, his mother Shama dark. So, and then he was pacing up and down. Suddenly, just in a soliloquizing, almost he was telling to himself, he said, If there were another Vivekananda, then he would have understood what this Vivekananda has done. And Swami Premananda ji was so close to him, he overheard, and that has been recorded by the biographer Swami Gambhirananda in his famous biography of Swami Vivekananda, Yuganaya Vivekananda. So now when a person reading or hearing about it, naturally if he doesn't know Vivekananda, he will think, oh, he was an egoistic person. And he is mentioning in such a way that no one before and no one after will be able to do anything like him. Vivekananda was never, ever egoistic. No ego was there. And I will quote Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, his guru, and Sri Ramakrishna said, Naren is a real Shiva, not an artificial one. Then he mentioned, he has no ego. The Vivekananda was not having any ego. Sometimes Vivekananda used to forget that he has a body. Parotatti Sadalina. And he was to be, by nature, natural. He used to meditate into that deep, the truth, the Parotatta, that is Brahman. And Ramakrishna Samadhyaya, by behest of his Guru Sri Ramakrishna, then he started Yo Dharma Sthapanarata Vire Shantam Namamaham. He started working to reestablish the Dharma, the righteousness. This Vivekananda was not having any ego. The Mary Dewey Burke, in that wonderful research book, in one place she has mentioned that Vivekananda was getting ready to give a talk. He was in a small room, and then the gentlemen who were organizing the program, when everything was ready, people came and sat. He went and told Swamiji, everything is ready, please come. Swamiji stood up, came a few steps towards the door, again went back, and there was a mirror. He looked at him. Again he came towards the stage, and then again went back to the mirror. 2-3 times. Then the gentleman told, you are sufficiently handsome, Swami. You need not to see it like that way. You know what Vivekananda said? Mary Dewey Burke recorded, no, I cannot remember my body. Can we understand this person? We always remember our body only. Just coming down from here, I was thinking if I can get a cup of coffee. Somehow I managed a half cup of coffee. So we are thinking about Vivekananda, the person who used to forget his body. And how, when he cannot remember his body, cannot think about that, how can he be the egoistic person? There was no ego at all. This Vivekananda, he became the instrument in the hand of the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna to reestablish the Dharma, because the Bhagavan himself promised in the Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata. So he kept the promise again and again. As Sri Ramakrishna, as Sri Rama, he chose Mahavir, Hanuman, to establish Dharma. As Sri Krishna, he chose Arjuna to establish Dharma. As Sri Ramakrishna, he chose Swami Vivekananda to establish the Dharma, this righteousness. But in the Rama, and also in the case of Sri Krishna, they had to use the brutal force, they had to kill people to establish Dharma. Time changed. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he utilized a completely different weapon, intellect. And Vivekananda was perfect in that. He chose Vivekananda for that. And Sri Ramakrishna transformed the minds of the people without abolishing them, killing them. He transformed their minds, their thought processes. Then here the Vivekananda is coming towards the Western world. But before that, what was the scenario in India? If we don't know that, we won't be able to appreciate the Vivekananda. What was the condition? If you notice, when you do the puja, I don't know whether our pujaris also know it or not. They'll be putting a finger in the water and they'll be chanting with great devotion. Gange cha jamune chaiva godavari saraswati narmade sindhu kaveri jalasmin sannidham kuru. What is that? They're purifying that water, and with that water only they will sprinkle and they do everything. But what is that mantra? 7 rivers. Names of the 7 rivers. This is the Hindus, this is the India, this is the culture. So remember, these 7 rivers fertilize the whole length and breadth of India. And obviously, they became rich. And there are so many records of that. India was so rich, so advanced in everything. And Abhudaya and Nistrayasha, that was the philosophy. Abhudaya and Nistrayasha. You have to develop the materialistic level and also the spiritual level of Abhudaya and Nistrayasha. So both are developed. And very wonderful society that was developed. They gave that the whole lifetime of a human being, individual, should be in 4 different births. And afterwards in 4 different conditions, ashramas. And so many. And when they were young, they used to learn from the beginning itself the highest morality. And they used to learn that when you give, you should give with love. Sraddhaya adeya, asraddhaya adeya. Dharmam chara, satyam vada. You must practice and stick to your swadharma, your own practices, own duties and responsibilities. Then Matri Devo Bhava, Pitri Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, and along with that, Atiti Devo Bhava. Can you imagine the culture of those people? They never said lies. The ladies were highly educated. Even at the time of Shankaracharya, the 800 years. Then the Shankaracharya and the great scholar, they were debating. Who was the judge? A lady. Can you imagine? So that was the society, that was the condition. And naturally, the moment there is the prosperity that attracts the people from all around the world, and people came waves after waves, they came to learn. Many of them came to learn. Many of them they came to plunder, and many came to rule. So from 11th century onwards, they understood that only plundering do we have to establish over here, and they started establishing their the rule over. And from 11th to 17th century, then came the Britishers, and another 200th century. So that long time, and we forgot everything. Only few years, and you can imagine. Sometimes some people, they say the Indians are very good in breaking the rules. You know why? If you make a white, the strips over there and say that you must, and here you don't understand the Indians. They are very good followers of the rules. And if you like to see, you must go and see them in India. Then only you can see. If there is this is written that you must cross from this side, they will go from that side. No, I am a free country, free man, why not from here? You know why they break the rules? Because, again, the subjugation, the people who used to rule them, they used to make the rules to suppress them. So obviously in their mind it was always there, we should break it, we should not obey it. We should not follow it. So that was the condition. The hypocrisy entered into the life of the Indians. Why? They are telling something, thinking something else, and doing something else. Why you know? Because you have to make your boss happy. They were not thinking that, so freedom was not there. The perversion naturally came in a great way. So friends, that was the condition. The child marriage, and you know the most of you, that the child marriage, the widow marriage, and the burning of the widows, And so many nasty things entered into the body of the society. And no education for the women. They were behind the curtains. The people used to be proud. The fathers used to say, you know, even the son cannot see my daughter. So they used to be proud. Even to some places it is still there. The Vivekananda effect, look at yourselves. Our educated women, they have come to so far places. And they are not only doing the office works, they are also doing everything, everywhere, successful. That is Vivekananda effect. The ordinary people, the low-born people, the gentleman who is the head of the scientist, that's saying that what's called the satellite, to moon, his father is a low-caste person and an uneducated person. His son, another scientist from ISRO who became the president of India, his father is a fisherman. And from there, that is Vivekananda effect. We cannot think of this thing in those days before Vivekananda Sri Ramakrishna. Then, 800 long years of slavery that actually ruined this. Now Vivekananda came to America and he represented the whole India. You know, from north, from south India, North India, South India, West India, East India, the kings, ordinary people, professors, they all contributed for him to come over here. But that time Google was not there. So they could not understand that when the Vivekananda was going to reach over there, it would be 1 month before. It was in September. And he came over here in July. So obviously, and think of it, one gentleman coming, 29 years young man, and he's sailing from there, changing the shape, changing the train, and in Canada from here, changing the trains, he reached to Chicago, and then he understood that the program that is going to be happened, it is 1 month afterwards. But the gods, that sometimes some people, when they ask, what is the proof that God is there? Then I said, read Vivekananda's life. That the person who is coming, 29-year young person, and never ever came out from India, and he is traveling like that in the train when he was traveling. Then Lady Sanborn, one lady, she started talking with this young man, that if you feel that you are in some problem, please contact me. Come to Anisquam, come to Boston. I'll be there, you can be my guest. Can you imagine? And this is called miracle. The God knew what is going to happen. He went to the Boston, then to Anisquam, and the lady introduced him with the professor. He talked with the professor. By that way he was learning how we have to communicate with the people, the learned people of this country. And he learned, and he was talking with the professor of the Harvard University. So naturally, he was a sharp student, very intelligent student. He immediately understood how it was to be presented. And that professor wrote a beautiful letter. But you know, in India and in the traditional monks, they never carry anything. Simply they'll be walking, because in any door, if you go and stand before them and say that I need food, Bhagavati Bhiksham Dehi, they'll be feeling themselves blessed and they'll give you all best treatment. So why should we carry money? And he will go and stand in the station and someone will come, Swamiji, do you like to go somewhere? Yes. So shall I purchase a ticket? Please do this much. And then immediately they will purchase. Can you imagine? Still there. I felt myself and I felt embarrassed. Because I was not expecting. In Pune, in the temple inauguration, I went, and the day I was to come back, all people are busy in the ashrama, so I went to purchase some things so that I can travel in the train. At that time I can eat some bananas, grapes and all. And I went to the small shop, roadside shop, and their house was just at the back of the shop. And I was touching, oh, this banana, I was touching like this. Then this braid is soft, I like to protect this braid, I like to take this banana. You know what happened? Then the whole family came, took out all those things, made a big bundle. I told, no, I don't want that. I want only 2 bananas. That will be sufficient. Now you touched it. I know one can eat it. It has become. So it is prasad. You have to take it. Even today, and this is India. India is not dead yet. So this is the tremendous devotion. Swami used to travel like that. And now here, this lady gave him a heavy coat because it was cold, and in that particular, if you go and search in the Google, that was very cold. That September 1893, that was very cold. So luckily she gave a heavy coat, and then other also was there. Swamiji gave that later, but where? That he forgot, he missed. He came to Chicago once again, second time. He walked all through the road and he forgot the address that was given to him. He was asking people, but unfortunately he entered into the quarter where mostly German people were there. You know, in those days people used to come and settle in different... So that mostly Germans, they could not understand his English and they also could not answer properly. So he was walking and ultimately he went before, and he understood that he is going to die. No food, no water, and walking so long, and he was exhausted. He came by train, so what to do? Then ultimately he sat just in front of a church. I think Swamiji was thinking, if I have to die, let me die at the door of God. So he sat just in front of the church. Still the church is there. In the Hyde Park area, the church is still there. And Swamiji sat over there, and then the miracle started. I think Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna never wanted that. With the letter of some professor, he should get that entry into the Parliament of Religions. I should take my son over there, because Vivekananda was Sri Ramakrishna himself, so in another form. So miracles started happening. One lady, she opened the door. In America, you know, if they find that a person, unknown person, loitering or near to their gates, immediately they will phone the police or send out their people to drive him out from there. Exactly opposite, she crossed the road, came and talked to that man, said, are you a representative of this Parliament of Religions? And the whole history begins from there. That was the George Hell, Mrs. George Hell, and she became the mother. Mother Church, Father Pope. Swami used to call the Mr. and Mrs. Hell. And they became their family. And Swamiji stayed with them perhaps, and there is some doubt, sometimes there is some of the biographers writing, no, he went to a car box and he spent the night over there, and maybe, and some of this biography says, no, he stayed over there. Next morning he met that Mr. L, and both of them, Mr. and Mrs. took him to different people, and ultimately they met one gentleman who agreed, and he was the main person. So Swami Vivekananda was given 5 minutes opportunity, and that was on the 10th September. You can understand the tense situation. 9th evening, this happened. 10th whole day they were going on here and there. Ultimately 10th evening, and John Browse invited them, and he went over there to attend that program. It was decided that, okay, his name is not there and no credential and nothing is there. We do not know whose representative he is, but ultimately they accepted Hinduism because no representative of the Hindus were there. He was the only one. So they accepted him. The Buddhists were there, Jains were there, Brahmo Samajis were there from India, but no Hindus. But Swami Vivekananda got that, and Vivekananda went over there. 11th September at 10 o'clock in the morning, that the church, the library bell, no, not church, library bell rang 10 times. to honor the 10 religions, and they all marched. Swami Vivekananda was also there. He went and then sat on the dais waiting for the call. In the morning session, he could not pick up the courage to speak. And then in the afternoon session, and for first time he refused, please give me some more time. He was meditating and praying to the Mother Saraswati. Please help me. You know why? Not that, but if he cannot speak properly and not getting the claps from people, not for that. His prayer was, Mother, this is the only opportunity to serve my country. So 303 million people, 33 crores. So they are waiting for me. I have come here to serve them. That was the only purpose. You know, those who have read the biography, his only purpose was to serve these Indian people. When he was traveling the length and breadth of India, and when he saw the condition of the lives of the ordinary people, the educated and the rich people, they were siding the rulers, the Britishers, they were getting little benefit, and not only the Britishers, these people also used to torture the ordinary people. No education, no health, nothing was there. So Swami Vivekananda cried, lo, the descendants of the rishis have become next door neighbor to brutes. So he cried for them, and he vows that I am going to help them. And how he did? He didn't take up the bow and arrow. He didn't do anything else but giving a talk. And that first day talk, that really echoed everywhere. A simple word he uttered ultimately. One, I think the Christian representative of one denomination, he was watching, as an elderly person. He watched and then he said, young man, this is the last opportunity, you should speak. Then Swami Vivekananda agreed to speak. He went and he spoke, and the first address was Sisters and Brothers of America. It's the English word, and nothing new in it. And many of them, before Vivekananda, also say the same word, but brothers and sisters, not America, brothers and sisters and gentlemen, ladies, like that. But Swami Vivekananda said, Sisters and Brothers of America. What was their special? Sometime, that exactly 100 years afterwards, in 1993, the Ramakrishna Mission, believe it or not, they organized a program in Calcutta, at Netaji Auditorium, nearly 12,000 people assembled. And I have forgotten which religion the gentleman was representing, with all the white dress and the turban like Swami Vivekananda. He came and stood like Vivekananda, keeping both the hands crossed on the chest, and he shouted, Sisters and Brothers of Calcutta. Everybody was quietly listening. Then he raised his voice and again shouted, Sisters and Brothers of Calcutta. Nothing happened. Then Lokeshwarananda ji, who was the president of that, chairing that program, he came and tapped from the back and said, Brother, continue. But then, I finished your lecture, only 5 minutes or 10 minutes time. And he was thinking, only uttering the sisters and brothers, and all people will stood up and clap. No. Vivekananda used the yogi that he was, he used that Brahma Shakti. And that Brahma Shakti that really touched the hearts of those 7,000 educated people, the best people of the society, their hearts, that they really felt that we are united, we are from the same family. So that great joy they expressed standing at the ovation and clap for 2 long minutes. So this Vivekananda immediately became very, very popular everywhere. And naturally, you will wonder on what subject he spoke. Of the 11, the 3 or 4 times he spoke on the customs of India. India, 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 religion and customs of India, condition of India, religion of India, Hindu philosophy, and all this was Vivekananda. Vivekananda introduced India with the world now. And India, the ancient culture, America, the most young culture, they came together. If we make a list, and what is the time, Swamiji? 12:15. So this, if we list in this way, today morning I was thinking, what a contribution of Swami Vivekananda. In a fast condition, the contribution, he brought back the self-confidence in the minds of the Indians. Brought back the self-confidence. This is a great thing. Vivekananda spreaded Vedanta. And Vivekananda's Vedanta means this jagat is, this world is illusory and nothing is there, nothing like that. Listen, wonderfully he has given the Vedanta, and that is self-confidence. Vivekananda's Vedanta is the self-confidence. And he said, the old religion said, he is an atheist who doesn't believe in God. New religion says, he is an atheist who doesn't believe in himself. Self-confidence. I can do, I can do, I can do. And in the wonderful Bengali, he is telling, Ore na na sore ki na hue jabi. Just you are going on negative, 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 and you will become no. So what is the difference between a handful of Britishers who are ruling you and you, the millions of people? You know that? Those people, though handful, but they have the confidence, I can do. And you have forgotten that. You think we cannot do. So this constantly dependence on the foreign things, foreign the conception, which have come from the foreign land. You know, there's a funny story. One lady was having some trouble in the eye. So her husband took her to the specialist doctor. Doctor checked and said, oh, this is nothing. A foreign particle has come in the eye and I clean it. The lady said, foreign particle? And you are going to clean it? Never. It must be a very costly thing. Let it be there. So that way they used to think. So even today, only very recently, people are still thinking. So you can imagine, he brought back the self-confidence from the Indian. And then rejuvenated the Hinduism. And Sister Nivedita very nicely wrote about this Hinduism issue. When Vivekananda started telling about the Hinduism was there. And then when he completed the Hinduism, new Hinduism took shape. So I could not quote the exact words. This is the way she told. New Hinduism. What is that new Hinduism? Ishavashyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Everywhere that God, that all-pervading God, each and everything is just covered by Him. And there is nothing else but that supreme consciousness. That is Hinduism. And that was introduced by Vivekananda. If you go to a temple and see God over there, can't you see the God sitting before the temple, begging for alms? So that was Vivekananda. So he introduced Hinduism. And the way he said, and I am not going to elaborate on that, this is a new type of Hinduism, casteism, and all those things completely eradicated. No, he was not a Brahmin when he accepted the sannyasa. According to the tradition, a Brahmin should only take the sannyasa. And he said, we should raise these people to the Brahmanahood. What is the Brahmanahood? It is the culture, it is the thought, it is the way of life. We have to raise the people up to that and then give the sannyasa. You know, in our Ramakrishna order, we have the sannyasis from different castes, different religions, different linguistic group. It doesn't matter. First 3 years, you have to be under the senior Swamis and practice the spirituality and under the guidance of your guru, whatever the mantra diksha he has given. Then 2 years, you have to go to the headquarters, Belulma, and you have to learn the scripture there properly. and also served the senior Swamis, also served the God over there, and then this way, slowly purifying yourself. Then after the 5th year, they give us brahmacharya, they give us the brahmana upavita, and they become brahmana. Again, another 4 years you have to continue as a brahmana, self-control, calm, meditative, all the time loving, ready to serve. And these are the qualities of the brahmana that they inculcate. Then after 9 years, on the 10th year they gave the sannyasa. Vivekananda didn't break anything, but he changed it in a very wonderful way. So Brahmanatva. So this is, they strongly propagated the development of women and masses. That is what Vivekananda did. The women, they were not getting the education. Ma Sharadamani Devi, those who have read the biography, mother wanted to read. The mother's brothers, they used to come and snatch the books from her. Now you should not read. That was the condition of the women. They never allowed the women to study. And Vivekananda, he said, they must. And ultimately, Vivekananda introduced that education through Margaret Noble, an Irish lady from London, and also another lady that helped, but she is not became that popular. That's a sister, Kristen Bilstadel from Detroit. She went and stayed there, dedicated her whole life for the women education. Some of the women, they used to get the education, particularly Brahma Samajis, but breaking all the rules of the society, constantly fighting with the normal society. But Swamiji never wanted that. He wanted it to be a natural and normal growth. He wanted that the people should feel like that. He quoted the Manu, and slowly the women, they were getting the education, and the mass education also. For the masses, and he said, my special object of worship are those, the poor, downtrodden, illiterate, oppressed. They are my special object of worship. Think of it. That was completely changing one person. And one person changing the whole Indian culture, language, thought process, everything. And introduced new India to the world. The great personalities, they were introduced. And one after another, Max Muller and all, they were understanding India in a completely different way. If you read the newspaper, the reports of that time, they are mentioning, we send missionaries for those people. You know, there are so many, the incidents are there. Swami Vivekananda, wherever he went, one question was common. Is it true, Swami, that the firstborn son is thrown in the mouth of the crocodile by their mothers? And disgusting Vivekananda sarcastically replied, that may be so, and I am also the first son of my mother. Perhaps she also threw me before the crocodile, but I was so hefty, crocodile could not eat me. So I have come over to give the lecture. So this way he used to be angry, but he introduced a new India. People started thinking. So learned people, so advanced people, look at their philosophy, and we are sending missionaries to convert them, to change them, to give them the light of religion is not necessary. He spoke, and again he said, religion is not the need of India, but the food. Give us technology, and we will give you Vedanta and yoga. So he introduced the yoga and Vedanta, and created a strong wave for Indian freedom movement. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom is the first condition of growth. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom is the song of the soul. Vivekananda gave that cry. You know, previously, our poets, and the famous poet, Vivekananda's friend, Rabindranath Tagore, many of you, we do not know, Rabindranath used to compose the songs, and Vivekananda used to sing those songs. So they were very close friends. Then afterwards, When Vivekananda gave that call, that was in 1893. Rabindranath Tagore, 1894, he published a beautiful poem, long poem, Ebar Phirao More. I do not know whether I will be able to translate that, but the Bengali, original Bengali is like this. Ore tora ot achi, agun legeche kotha, tar shankh uchiache baji, jagate jagot jane. Someone has blown the conch to break the slumber of the world. Oh, you, get up now. That was meant for Swami Vivekananda. The voice was changing. Nazrul Islam also started writing the poetry. The birds in the villages. They used to go from hamlet to hamlet, village to village, singing about the patriotism. And we do believe, along with the thousands and thousands of people, even the women also came forward to face the bullets of the police and atrocities of the military. This is Vivekananda. He created the freedom wave. This 1885, the Indian National Congress, and 28 December 1885, that was formed. You know who was the founder? The founder was an ex-ICS officer, Mr. Hume. And who was the first president? Another ex-ICS officer, the Umesh Chandra Bandyopadhyay. He was the first president. You can imagine, this was the educated high society group, and it was formed to keep in contact with the rulers, the Britishers. And they exactly did like that. From 1885 to 1905, they didn't do anything. They went on passing the resolutions that you should have to have a good relation with the rulers and maybe some civil rights, a little bit of other demands for those people. But then, in 1930, under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, he was the president of the Congress, that was the first time they broke out and said, complete independence. The Indians' independence. And after that, 1930 they demanded, 1947 India and Pakistan got the freedom. 1948 Burma and Sri Lanka got the freedom. 1949 China got the freedom. In the 21st September, very close to this, China got the freedom one after another. Even the UAE, United Arab Emirates, almost at the same time, 1970-71, they got the freedom. Why? China fought, Burma also. Burma was the Greater India, Sri Lanka was Greater India, Pakistan was Greater India. But China, they fought for their freedom. But the wave that was created by Vivekananda, when he returned back, then the report that was published that time in Sri Lanka, and in the Sri Lanka was that time the India, the report said, even the sunlight could not touch the road because it was covered by the human skull. The human hate, so much people they came, all different religions, different groups they came. No one questioned whether he's a Hindu or a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Christian. No one questioned what type of language he says and uses and what type of the food he eats, nothing. All they came under the banner of Vivekananda. This unified India was nicely led by Mahatma Gandhi. And that is the reason it became easy for India to get the freedom. You know, you will wonder, the Rotary Club International, that was also formed in Chicago, 23rd February 1905. So we can also take, this is also Vivekananda effect. Vivekananda came and Vivekananda spoke for the poor, and Vivekananda always, the very rich people, they used to come and meet Swamiji, and Swamiji used to always inspire them to go and donate something. You must share your money with the poor because they are suffering over there. So this is the way what's that name, the famous person? Rockefeller. The Rockefeller, he came to meet Swamiji. He was a proud young man and he was earning in millions. He came and met Swamiji. Swamiji told, you must donate something, some amount. Why should I? I am using my brain, I am using my intellect, I am working hard, and I am earning money. Why should I give it to others? That was the ideas of the rich people. I don't know what was the argument Swamiji gave, but maybe in this way, the intellect may stop the next morning. You do not know. You are going to sleep the next morning, maybe there's something, God forbid, then you may have some problem, you may not use your brain. Well, all these things will go. So go and help the others and God will be happy. After some days, this Rockefeller came back and he threw one receipt as the good sound was donated and to a church and said, now you can thank me. Swamiji said, you should thank me because I saved you from hell. So that way Swamiji was inspiring, and this Lions Club that was formed in 1917, and their motto is we serve. The billionaires, they are the members of this Lions Club. And the Rotary Club, they are formed in 1905. Their motto is service above self. Can you not think that the inspiration of Vivekananda? This is Vivekananda we find. Lal Bal Pal. In India this is very famous. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal. They were the fiery leaders in those days in India. And they used to always think about fighting the Lal Bal Pal. They were great followers of Vivekananda. And also Gandhi, the moderate leaders. The Gandhi, the Nehru, Raja Gopalachari, all were followers. So look at it. Different type of people, different type of ideologies, different way of thinking, but all they are following Swami Vivekananda. This is Vivekananda effect. So this Vivekananda and this Bipin Chandra Pal, in the beginning he never accepted all the newspaper, the reports that Vivekananda is so popular in London. But once he was visiting London, he was standing on one side of the road and he was thinking to cross the road. Suddenly he heard on the other side a British mother excitedly asking her son, look son, that is Vivekananda. Because the feature of the Bengalis, the Vivekananda Bipin Chandra Pal, he was also having the same type of long coat. She mistook him as Vivekananda. Then the Bipin Chandra Pal wrote. From that day onwards I understood how much effect the Vivekananda has created in the minds of the ordinary people. Even the ordinary lady also can recognize Vivekananda, loves to recognize, and that is Vivekananda effect. So I am not going to quote, but only one quotation will be sufficient. Where the Raja Gopalachari, the first Indian Governor General of India, Raja Gopalachari, then he wrote very clearly, but for Vivekananda, we would have lost our religion and would not have gained our freedom. Vivekananda saved India and Hinduism. So this is Vivekananda effect. Until now, everyone from India, whoever they come, I met the last two, the Indian ambassador to America. Instead of going directly to the Washington DC to report, they landed Chicago. And naturally Chicago, their office, the consulate general, they organized a party. They invited me, I was there. Then when I was asking, how come that you were here? We were supposed to go to DC. You know Swami, when he saw me, he came himself and he introduced and said, you know Swami, the first place is Chicago. I must go and touch that particular place where Vivekananda stood. When we were all young boys, we used to read these Sisters and Brothers of America. I memorized that whole speech and I got the prizes from the Ramakrishna Mission Delhi. So I thought this is a great opportunity for me. First I go, touch that, take the blessings of Swamiji, then I will represent India in Washington DC. The second man came the same way. The in between one lady came, and as our consular general over there, she was very, very dedicated to Vivekananda ideology. So these people of their own, learning Vivekananda, trying to understand Vivekananda and Vivekananda philosophy, I only wish that truly they understand. I will conclude with one concept, and that's a great concept. That is all through the Indians, not only Indians, majority of the Europeans, our idea was the subject, praja. We were not citizen, nagarik. The praja conception means we won't do anything, only kings are supposed to do. And that is why when a handful of people, only 5,000, and among those 5,000 only 100 was British, and all were Indian recruit. This British army was going from Calcutta to Murshidabad to fight with our Nawab, Siraj-ud-Dawla. And they were going, marching from Calcutta to Murshidabad, the 150 miles, 50 kilometers I think. So they were going, so many villages were there, towns were there. No one threw a stone to them to stop them. Why you, the foreigners, are here? Never, no one said that. Why? We are praja, we are subject. And the rajas and rajas, they are fighting, whoever will conquer. Our only concern is they should not put more taxes on us, that's all. So that was the condition. Only in the 1757 like that. That was the condition. And recently, I was in Arunachal Pradesh, and we have a tribal school. It's very remote from the main place, 25 miles you have to drive inside the jungle to reach our school. The remote place, and from the remote places the boys, they come. And that time India-Pakistan war was going on in the Siachen. So, and the songs in the TVs all the time, the दूध मांगोगे तो खीर दूंगा, Kashmir मांगोगे तो हाथ काट दूंगा. So that was the song, all this was going on. So if you ask for the milk, we will give you the thick sweets. But if you are asking Kashmir, we will cut your hand. So that was the song. One little boy holding an Indian flag, he was running and he was going on. दूध मांगोगे हाथ काटेंगे like that. I stopped him. Do you know where is Kashmir? No, I don't know. This is India now. Now it has become so united. And in those days, when they were going, no one threw a stone to stop them. Because praja. Vivekananda gave this conception of citizen. Know that right from your birth, you are dedicated for your motherland. All gods and goddesses are sleeping. Only one goddess that is awake in your motherland. Right from your birth, you are dedicated for her service. This is Vivekananda. And that inspired people. And hundreds of women also came forward. And they dedicated themselves. Some of them they were hanged. Some of them they were killed by the bullets. But they were not afraid. Vivekananda effect. And this Vivekananda effect has brought us over here, all over. Now we are educated, we are self-confident, we are proud. When the Britishers left India, we could not produce a needle in our factories. And now we are sending the satellites to land on the moon. Next time we'll be successful for sure. So this is going on. That means so much in 70 years. And that too, little bit of wrong leadership. But India is going to rise. So that is Vivekananda effect. And when India rises, what will happen? She is not going to conquer any other plots, any other land, nothing. Only as Vivekananda said, not with the fire and sword, she will cross the border with the blessings and prayer. The India will conquer the whole world with the spirituality. And what is that spirituality? You are that holy self. Have self-confidence. Don't suffer. And don't break down because of some mistakes, some failures. You can be successful. Friends, allow me one more minute and one incident that happened. I received a letter when I was in Advaita Ashram, of course long back. The one gentleman wrote, he was convicted for something and he became angry, killed a person, and he went to jail and he was supposed to be hanged. So he thought that why I am surviving, they are going to kill me, before that I must kill myself. So thinking to commit suicide, he went to the jail library to find out some short thing so that by that he can kill himself. And he found a small book written in Telugu language, and that was The Powers of Thought by Swami Vivekananda. The Powers of Thought, a small booklet. And he read that book. Every word inspired him. You can change yourself. You are the maker of your own destiny. You are suffering today. That proves that you can be happy tomorrow. Prepare yourself in that way. He got very much inspired. And he said, why am I going to kill myself? Rather, I will inspire my brothers over here. They are not going to be hanged. They will go back once again after a few years of imprisonment. So they should be the good people. He started talking with them, inspiring them, changing the attitude of those prisoners. It was noticed by the authority. Then they appealed to the High Supreme Court and also the President of India. And he was not, that order was cancelled. He was imprisonment for the whole life. But he is now, he wrote afterwards, this is my life story. Now they have accepted me as a spiritual teacher in the jail. Whoever comes, I teach him Vivekananda's inspiration, Vivekananda's words. This is Vivekananda effect. Namaste Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Sarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. Om Shanti Shanti.